श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमव्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्विमे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी। We have been looking at numerous practices. What are these practices? Disciplinary practices. And these disciplinary practices are spiritual or religious disciplines. You can't say, I am also doing discipline. What are you doing? I am going to the gym and pumping iron. And that, or I am on a, what is that thing called? Keto diet. Yeah, you keep drinking oil the whole time. This is what it is. Just eat lots of fat. Keto diet. So whether it's a keto diet or whatever diet, those kinds of diets, you may be very strict. I have to not eat these things. I have to eat these things. But what is the purpose of that diet? Losing weight, one purpose, or the doctor says if you have even one more drop of oil, bye-bye. If the doctor says, then it is for the sake of health. So it's not for the sake of moksha. Do you see the difference here? So, and then pumping iron is also what? So that I'll have biceps and triceps and deltoids and what else? Six-pack ab. Yes. So this is so that I can be a model on the cover of a magazine. So this is, you are disciplined there. But then that discipline is not for the sake of moksha, and any discipline that is not for the sake of moksha is not discussed here and will not give moksha. Why? Simply because that sankalpa is not there. It's not done with that intentionality. Okay, so I'll change my mind. I'll go to the gym and say moksha 1, moksha 2, moksha 3. Okay, something will happen then? Nothing will happen then. Because inside you know your intention. You know why you're doing it. And that is for what? Karma phala. All of this is for karma phala. I need to have good health. Is that a karma phala or not? Desire? Yes. And then I need to lose weight. Karma phala or not? Yes. And then there are people who don't eat food. They go from one shake to another. Yes. There is something called breakfast shake. You don't shake, you drink the shake. Okay, yeah. So it's not that you are shaking and eating the breakfast. Okay. So that breakfast shake. And then what else? Lunch shake. And then dinner shake. And this is all, there are all many commitments are there. And sometimes people say, in this lifetime I have to go to many beaches. This is my sankalpa. I have to find out how many beaches are there in all the famous beaches, like those, the blue waters of the Greek islands, or the beaches somewhere all over India, or South India, or the beaches somewhere in the other parts of the world, Africa, etc., South America. These kinds of beaches, I want to go to these beaches. And then there are, let's say you make a short list because you can't go to every one. And then you have a yatra. And the yatra of seeing 50 beaches in one holiday, or 25 beaches in one holiday, and you are very determined, you do everything that is needed. So, but that is not this kind of a practice. What other example? Hiking. Hiking to, what is that place? Nilkant. Hiking to Nilkant, a local example finally. Okay. Hiking to where? Nilkant. Trekking to Nilkant. Or even closer, this Bhutnath Mandir. Okay. Yeah. And then somebody said, don't give us ideas. I'm not giving ideas that you already don't have. Okay. So Wednesdays, this is where, this is what happens. So trekking here, trekking there, and then for the sake of completing that trek, you have to do a few things, correct? You have to bend and press and do all kinds of things, strengthen the legs. Otherwise you will lie down on the road. That's what will happen. You won't be, if you don't have the takat, if you don't have the strength, you will just lie down on the road and say, like so some of those dogs which you see in the early morning, you will be lying down like them, and then you will say, wake me up on the way back, because you will be so tired. So then the point, the Nilkant happens to be a destination, but the point is what? The trek itself. And for that trek, some preparations are necessary, some protein shakes are imbibed. And so all that does not constitute a spiritual discipline, because the fruit is what? The phala, the phala that is kankshita, that is desired, is other than moksha. This is how we decide what is a spiritual discipline and what is not a spiritual discipline. So because some of them look very similar. Some person is a yoga buff. All the time they are in yogasana. Even in the middle of the class they go into down dog. Okay. So then that is again, if they are not doing it for the sake of antahkarana shuddhi, it is not a practice that is, it's not a disciplinary practice that is discussed here. We have to make this distinction, because some of them look alike. And then, so like this, these disciplines are only done by the sake of, for the sake of moksha by mumukshus. Then only it becomes a religious discipline. But Adi Shankara will also point out at the end of this section, in the 32nd or the 33rd verse, saying that this cannot lead to moksha directly. What will it do? It will lead you to karma phala, action and result of action. It will not lead you to moksha directly, because if you forget, you are a mumukshu, because the practice itself is very addictive, and this is what happens. People keep on doing pranayama, and they say we have outwitted Lord Yama. Lord Yama is not outwitted. He is waiting there. He just goes to Starbucks. It's all okay. This person has started to do yoga pranayama. I'll go to Starbucks, little break. That's all. 5 more years you live. Okay. What did you accomplish? I don't know. I was busy breathing. I was busy trying to regulate my breath. So this purposelessly, if you do all this does not constitute religious discipline. And so, what happens is that people start off as mumukshus. Moksha is the desire for which because of which they are attracted to these disciplines in the first place. But then what happens is that there is an obfuscation, a certain kind of eclipsing that happens. And what is that eclipsing? You forget the moksha, and the means for the moksha become the end to be achieved in itself. So yoga for moksha, wonderful, fantastic spiritual discipline. But then it turns into yoga for mastery of all the limbs. I should look like a pretzel at the end of it. Yeah, then I am successful. So then what has happened there? It's not the fault of yoga. It's not the fault of Yoga Sutras. It's not the fault of Patanjali. We can't blame all these sages. What is the problem here? The problem is I have mistaken the means for the end. It's like all dressed up with no place to go. Somebody is wearing an expensive suit or sari. It was silk sari with gold border they are wearing. And then you ask them, it's late at night, 9 o'clock at night, they have dressed up. And you ask them, you're going somewhere? No. Oh, somebody is coming to the house? No. Then why are you all dressed up? Just like that. No, this is the problem. It's being equipped with all these spiritual disciplines, even if they are for the sake of moksha. The one who is not able to let go of the disciplines, having mastered them, and then become moksha bhimukha, meaning become one who is turned towards moksha and then come to Atmajnanam, is like a person who is all dressed up with no place to go, like wearing a tuxedo and sitting at home. What is the use? No use. So the means and ends must not be obfuscated, and then these are the means, and then one more yajna I think is left, or one more verse deciding the yajna is left. Let us see that. 30 we did, right? No, we haven't. With 29 we finished, yes. Apare niyata haraha. Oh, haraha. Apare niyata haraha. Pranan praneshu juhvati. Sarvepyete yajnavidah. Yajnakshapita kalmashaha. It should be niyataharaha only. There is a mistake, okay? Yeah. Because everything else is in the plural. How can it this one? So that's why out of instinct I chanted like that. But then I saw this and I said, okay, maybe it is there. Correct it. And we'll chant it properly again. Apare niyataharaha. Together. Pranan praneshu juhvati. Sarvepyete yajnavidah. Yajnakshapita kalmashaha. So another 2 types of yajnas are described. The second one we already know, it's a repetition. So apare means still others are what? Niyataharaha. Niyataha aharaha yesham te. Very simple bahuvrihi. Niyata means there is a miti. There is a limit to what they eat. They are not eating seafood. What is seafood? what you see is food. No. Yeah. So, whatever you see is food. They don't have that kind of an idea. They have a certain kind of a understanding of what to eat for themselves. So, there are certain things they know. If I eat this, then it is, I get into this addiction. Sugar is like that. You have one day sugar, and then second day sugar, third day there is no sugar, there is a sadness. Ayyo, no Bhandara today. Nobody has assembled. No payasam. And what are those other things? Squiggly things, no jalebis. And like this, there is a missing. And so there is an up and down and a missing. So then, therefore, what? You have a vrata. One jamun vrata, meaning no matter how many I see on the dish and no matter how many the people in the serving line are willing to dish out to me, I will have only one. There is a limit. So, one jalebi vrata, one jamun vrata, and some days no jalebi vrata. All these things, these are all vrata. Vrata means religious disciplines. So, and then sometimes people say, what is that called? Intermittent fasting. This is all new. They think it is all whatever. This is all they think. It is very new and trendy. Intermittent fasting is trending. Oh my God, you eat for 4 hours and then you don't eat for 20 hours and then there is some kind of a ketosis and whatever happens and then you have so many health benefits, etc., etc. All this has come from the Veda. Whatever is not in the Veda is not there in this universe, really. Yeah, we just have a different name for it. It's called Prajapatya Krichra. It is another discipline like this. Very interesting discipline. It's a 12-day food-related discipline. And what is that? First day, you eat only lunch. Second day, what do you eat? You eat only dinner. Okay? And third day, what do you eat? Don't say breakfast, okay? That's not the correct answer, even though it seems logical. So the third day, you eat only if somebody brings you something. Whatever somebody has brought. And to tell the people on the second day, tomorrow please bring me something and then I will eat it, is not allowed. Okay? If supposing somebody sees you missing in the dining hall and say, oh, maybe this person is not well, and they quickly take something and bring to you, you happily accept. This is the third day. Fourth day, what do? You go to Rudra. No! Fourth day, you don't eat anything at all. This is one cycle. This is a baby krichra. One cycle. And then you repeat this 3 times. Then the fifth day, what do you have? Lunch. Sixth day, only dinner. Seventh day, whatever people bring. And then 8th day, nothing at all. So like this, the 12th day, if this is not the epitome of what is that? Intermittent fasting. I was going to say internet fasting. So if this is not the epitome of intermittent fasting, I don't know what is. So you can do a baby krichra for 4 days or you can do a full thing for 12 days. And then we have other kinds of ahara vratas, like one ghora vrata is there called Chandrayana. It starts with a full moon and then you have a full stomach on the full moon. What is a full stomach? I don't know. As I told you, one day you sit down and have 17 chapatis and see if you are full. If you are not, take the 18th one also. That should surely make you full. Now, the full stomach, whatever you are going to eat in that meal, you divide into 15 portions. Okay? And then you eat all of them. Then the next day, after full moon, what comes? 14th day of the Krishna Paksha, the waning moon cycle comes. Then you have only 14 bites of the food. Then 13, 12, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Somehow you manage till then. And then on the no moon day, no food at all. Somehow people manage till then. After that, you have to climb up slowly. It's excruciating. Because then on the first day of the next waning moon cycle, you have one mouthful of food and it's a 1 month vrata. This is for people who have done murder, etc. Atonement. Yeah, this is for that. This is not for everybody, because this is for people who have done terrible papa. They have killed somebody, or they have committed adultery, all these things. So for them, this is to exempt them, atonement for these things. So the Vedas themselves are various ahara vratas are there, and then Ekadashi we saw yesterday, all these things are there. And then so 1 day a week, generally people don't eat 2 meals or 3 meals, they will eat only 1 meal, depending on whichever is the weakest planet in the horoscope. And then so Guru is in a bad place, what do? Fast on Guruvara. On Thursday, you take only 1 meal, okay? And then what else? No money is coming anywhere, no abundance. So Friday, you keep that for the vrata. So like this, weekly 1 day, depending on which planet is the weakest in the horoscope, one is advised to skip a meal and then donate that food instead. So like this, all these aharas are there. Those who are committed to these kinds of niyataharaha, they are being discussed. So parimitaha ahara. Parimitaha means limited, restricted. Aharaha yesham te niyataharaha santaha. And then pranan vayubhedan praneshu eva juhvati. So what do? This is a specific term from the first portion of the Veda, and so we may not understand it. So, but we will do our best to at least see what it means. So, pranan vayubhedan praneshu eva juhvati. So, the prana here means the samana vayu. The samana vayu, which is in the form of what? The digestive fire. So, the vyashti vayu means that which is pertaining to this body mind sense complex, that is offered into the samashti prana. Do you understand that? Hiranyagarbha becomes the sukshma sharira, samashti sukshma sharira abhimani. So then, if I don't eat on account of wanting moksha, I have a disciplined life so that I don't eat on certain days or at certain times. And where is that? That hunger of the individual hunger is offered into the samashti prana, something like that, to the cosmic person, Purusha, Ishvara. So Ishvara in the form of Virat and Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha here, why? Because Sukshma, which is hunger and all, is subtle. That's why. And so we'll see that a little more. He himself will explain, either here or in the next one he will explain. In the next one he will explain this. So, yasya vayoho jayah kriyate itaran vayubhedan tasmin juhvati te tatra pravishtaha iva bhavanti. So, he explains a little bit here, and then you will understand it later in the conclusion of this section in verse 32. So, yasya vayoho jayah kriyate. When the victory over hunger, samana vayu, is achieved, when the victory over vyana, circulatory, and then all these other things is achieved one by one, that is resolved into the samashti prana. Where else will it go? Vyashti and samashti, individual and total, are connected. It's offered to Bhagavan. It becomes one with Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the recipient of this particular sacrifice. Oh, so I give my hunger to Bhagavan? Yes. So that means Bhagavan becomes hungry. If all the people in the world do this Chandrayana Vrata, then Bhagavan will be the hungriest of all. No. It is resolved because it is accepted as an offering, and then the phala is given, and Bhagavan is what? Satchidananda Atma Swarupa. free of hunger, free of thirst, all these things are there. And so therefore, pravishtaha iva bhavanti. It's not that you go and merge into Bhagavan or the heirs merge into Bhagavan, but they are the offering of the individual body, mind, sense complex and the various vital forces are for the sake of the total. They merge, as it were, into the total. So, sarve api, all these people are what? Yajna vidaha. Yajna vidaha, they know the meaning of these kinds of disciplines. Sarve means not just the people, niyatarharaha, not just the people that are described in this verse, but those that are described from the, which verse was that? 23rd verse, no, 27th verse onwards, 27, 28, 29, 30th. All of them, or even 26, I don't know. 26 to 30th, all the people, sarve, ete, who are they? Yajna vidaha. Yajna vidaha means they know the meaning of religious discipline. They know the purpose for which this religious or spiritual discipline is undertaken. It's not undertaken for any worldly effects, like even peace of mind. That is also not, doesn't make it what is that called? A religious discipline. Why are you meditating? Because I want peace from you. That's why I am meditating. Yes, you are indirectly a mumukshu, but you are not directly a mumukshu. So peace of mind and all these other things, that is not the reason. The person who actively says, I want moksha, I am doing this for the sake of qualifying for this moksha, that is the one who is called yajnavit. So this yajna, the person knows. Yajnam vetti iti yajnavit. So sarve api ete, all these people described here who are doing various spiritual disciplines, they all know the purpose of these disciplines. They are not confused, and then they are not taken the means to be an end. So sarve api ete yajna vidaha. And then who are they? Yathoktaihi yajnaihi kshapita नाशितः क्षपितः नाशितः कल्मषः येषां ते, they are all yajna kshapita kalmashaha. So here, what is this? Yajna we know various religious vratas. So yajnaihi, through all these practice of the yajnas, kshapita means from kshi, first conjugation, and kshi means what? Kshaye. So kshaya means nasha, destruction. So here causal, so that those who have, for whom by these yajnas, the what is that? Kalmashas, impurities have been destroyed for whom? So the impurities, kalmasha means impurities. What are the impurities? Yes, very good. Came late, but very good answer. Vragadvesha, kama krodhadi, kama krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Feeling of being unwanted. That is also an impurity. Nobody loves me. Suddenly one woke up and came to that conclusion for no reason at all. And why? Because the hook of that was there from the past. And then there's a very vulnerable situation. And so therefore, yajna kshapita kalmashaha. So all these kalmashas in the form of the antahkarana, the antahkarana ashuddhis, all the impurities in the inner infrastructure. I am better than this one is better than me. I am no good. I have no confidence. Even if I do something, nothing will come of it. So therefore, why study? Very dangerous conclusions. Nothing will happen. All these are kalmashas. These are the impurities. Because there is a hopelessness there. That hopelessness is kalmasha. Because what is the point? Nothing is happening. But then I read through the rules, it says all classes are compulsory. I'll go sit. But I won't listen. Why? Because what's the use of listening? I just sit. because it says all classes must be attended. I'll attend. Yeah. Who is attending? Body is attending. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes the person doesn't attend, but the place is fixed, reserved. Bag is kept. Books are kept. Bag is getting moksha. Okay? So, this kind of a hopelessness, it is nothing, it's not one's fault. One falls into it because of some issues, childhood issues. That has to be reckoned with. That has to be understood. That has to be let go of. That has to be resolved. That has to be embraced. That has to be looked at. But without doing that, the one nothing is happening. I have studied Kathopanishad, yeah, this 3-month course, Kathopanishad over, last 3-month course, Kenopanishad over, this over, that over, then what? I am also over, that's what. In the sense that I am over it, nothing is happening. Like a bullock standing in a buffalo, standing in the rain. Yes. Everybody is seeking shelter, that fellow is aram se standing there, even in the heavy rain. So, this way, these are all kalmashas. The hopelessness, the feeling of being undeserving feeling, the feeling of having a chip on the shoulder, everybody is just wrong and the reason I have been born is to right everybody. That is a chip on the shoulder. And then sometimes the reason I am born is to exhaust your karma. So therefore I will act in terrible ways. So this is all childhood issues. Eminently overcomable, and one has to look at this. If you are a mumukshu, the vrata includes a sankalpa for all these to be taken away, because these are all inner splits and divisions because of which moksha will not be gained. I will not understand that I am free. So all this inner work is the phala of these yajnas, and that this inner work happens alongside the yajnas, and so they are what? These people are yajna kshapita kalmashaha. So the kalmashas of them have been what? The kalmasha for them has been nashitaha, kshapitaha, has been caused to be destroyed. This is what is, such people are called yajna kshapita kalmashaha. And so this concludes the section on various disciplines. Now there are certain caveats. So now verses 31 and 32 are going to sum up this section on the various disciplines by giving us some caveats. Now we come to an oft used methodology in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Upanishads also, because after all the Bhagavad Gita is a clone of the Upanishad. So in the Upanishad, like even in the Kathopanishad, in the section on the chariot imagery, we have two scenarios. So, yastu prajnanavan bhavati, the one who is the wise person. Wise means who knows whatever is this. So, yahatu vijnanavan bhavati samanaskaha sada shuchihi. So, sada shuchihi, the one for whom the kalmashas, shuchi means purity. The one who is inwardly pure, freed of the pains and aches of ragadveshas. Samanaskaha, the one who has an aware full mind, sada shuchihi. Then what happens to them? Saha advanaha param apnoti. So the person crosses the road, and at the end of the road is the destination. What is that? Moksha. Tat Vishnoho Paramam Padam, it is said. Not Vishnu's, not Vaikuntha. Vishnoho Paramam Padam doesn't mean Vaikuntha. Vishnoho Paramam Padam means that which the all-pervasive Atma is called here Vishnu. So these kinds of disciplines lead you indirectly to Brahman. Then contrasting thing is given. Like, because there is always people who say, what if I don't do this? Then what will happen? Why should I do this? If I don't do this, what will happen? People learn through that also. So, yahatu avijnanaman bhavati, the one who has no viveka vairagya, amanaskaha, the one who is not mindful, sada ashuchihi. We have to be careful because even in the first sada shuchihi will be there. You have to break it differently. Sada ashuchihi. And then what happens? Their chariot with Dushtashvaha. So their chariot has bad horses, badly behaved horses. What are the horses? Sense organs. So badly behaved sense organs running after this, that and everything. What happens to their chariot? Does not make it through the road to the destination, falls in a ditch. So this contrast is there. If you do this, you will get this. And the converse is also always given. What is that called? If you don't do this, this will not happen for you. Instead, what will happen for you? That is also given. Very, very interesting this is. This is called Stuti Ninda methodology. Stuti Ninda Prakriya. So the Stuti always comes first. First you praise, and then for those who don't do this, what will happen? Then you show what is the problem here. So you critique the people or the practices which don't lead you to this. And so verse 31 is one such verse. Yajna shishtamrita bhujaha yanti brahma sanatanam nayam lokostya yajnasya kutonyah kuru sattama. Yeah. So yajna shishta. Shishta means that which is the prasada here. Shishta generally means leftover. Here leftover is not being talked about. What is leftover from yajna is what? Prasada only. Yajna phala. It means yajna shishta. So yajna shishta, then after that don't say mrita bhujaha, mritam bhunkte iti. No, it is amrita bhujaha. Yajna shishta amrita bhujaha. Okay. Amrita bhujaha means the partakers. Amritam bhunjate, amritam bhunkte. So see the people who are enjoying amritam. Amritam means immortality. What is immortality? Moksha. The fear of death has gone because I am not this body. Oh, but the body will die. Let it die. Yeah. It's just like a hotel room. You have checked in, but you don't know when you will check out. That's all. No problem. Yeah. The checkout date is with Lord Yama. Don't worry. That's less tension for us. You don't have to say, oh my God, I have to check out. What time is check out? How to do this? And thinking, stressing out about the time of checkout. I'm already checked out. Meaning I'm not in the present. So no worries. Enjoy this. Whatever is there. Well ventilated body. And this hotel room comes with a car. Because you can go. You can go places. It's a mobile hotel room. Well ventilated. It sweats when it is hot, and then it conserves the heat when it is cold by putting on a few pounds. It does that in the winter. Such a lovely hotel room, such a lovely dwelling place we have. And so therefore what? So therefore one is not so worried about all this. And then there are what? These are, when one knows this, then one is Amrita Bhuk, meaning the person who is eating the fruits of what? Jnana phala, jnanam, atma jnanam. One who is enjoying the atma jnanam is called Amrita Bhujaha. And who are these people? These are the people who have been purified by all these yajnas, as we saw in the previous verse. In the previous shloka, these are the people who have been purified by this yajnas. They are ready for atma jnanam. So they are ready to eat amritam in the form of jnana phalam. They are ready for that. Because, there are certain dishes. If you go to these really expensive restaurants, then they will say, you have to ready your palate for this particular dish. So first they'll give you something to eat, some kind of a starter, and then you have to do some kind of a cleansing of the palate. So they will give you some lemon water mixed with something and all, and then you drink that, then it is called palate cleanser. So like this, these people who have qualified for this, they are ready to partake of the main course. They are ready to see this knowledge. And where will they go? Yanti. Where do they go? Ya to go. Where will they go? Sanatanam Brahma Yanti. They go to the unchanging, ever-present Brahman as what? Themselves. So it's a funny kind of reaching. It's a reaching of that which is already reached. There is no reaching, there is no going, there is no coming, even though we are forced to use the word go and gain and get, all this. It is all in the terms of proper understanding. So this is the idea. Then Yagnashishtamritabhujah Yanti Brahma Sanatanam. And then this is the stuti. And so let us look at the stuti first before we take up the ninda. So who are these people? We already saw. Yajna Kshapita Kalmashaha. Those whose minds and hearts have been purified of their chronic issues and tendencies which are self-sabotaging in nature. So they have been purified of the raga, dvesha, etc. So these people, who are they? They are enjoying the prasada of these disciplines. What is the prasada of leading a disciplined life? Happiness. Really? So you have a food vrata, and what happens when you have a food vrata? Then whatever you see, you don't feel like eating, because you have had this food vrata. You have said, only this I will eat. And then when you see then when you have mastered that, then you are pleased with very, very little. You are happy. You are a free person, because the dependency on Swiggy and Piggy is not there. Dependency is not there. I have to have this only, and it should taste like that only. And if it doesn't taste like that, if I don't get this, my whole day is ruined. One walks around with a dark cloud over the head, just waiting to rain. It doesn't even get over and rain. It is waiting to rain. This is how one is walking around, moping around. I'm having a bad day. Why are you having a bad day? Because I didn't get what I liked. Oh, but you ordered food from your favorite restaurant, but the cook must have been different. It was terrible. Like this, the whole day goes. So this is just one example with the last vrata. All these other vratas also, see, the thing is that these vratas actually, in a way, free one, even though moksha is still imminent, these vratas free one from having a kind of an addictive personality and an addictive life, a dependent life, where my well-being, my happiness is based on other people's actions and the availability or the non-availability of the objects of delight and despair. This is how generally one leads the life. So that person is not a free person. Wherever they go, they are despondent. This didn't happen, that didn't happen like this didn't happen. And then you try to console them, and then you also get depressed along with them. Yeah. Because each time you try to tell them and show them something nice, they will say, yeah, but you didn't see that also was bad. And then you try another tack to cheer them up. Come on, it's not so bad. You're saying that because of this, but what about this? Yeah. And then before you know it, you are also feeling a funny feeling, a sinking feeling you are also having. So this is the problem with no commitment to no discipline. In the beginning, it looks like I'm a free-flying agent. I'm not dependent on you. I have this, I have that. I can go get whatever I want, wherever I want. So there is a OD, overdosing on what? Kartritva buddhi. I am the shaker, mover, maker of my life. It's all in my hands. I don't need you. I can do this. I have money, I have time, I have people, and I have connections. I can make this happen. And as soon as you go to make these things happen, what comes? Vigna karta, not vigna harta. Okay? Vigna karta. Ganesha in the form of your own prarabdha, putting various obstacles. You turn here, you sink. You go there, you fall. And you do this, and you are not happy. And you do that, and you have to come back. And then what? Blame the whole universe. It's because of you that I'm not getting ahead in my life. And it starts with the parents. It's because you didn't give me freedom. If you had given me freedom, I would have become Elon Musk. I would have become somebody very famous. I would have done all these things. I would be the richest man on the earth. But you didn't give me freedom. You were always puk. You were always not letting me do this, not letting me do that. And then after blaming the parents, what else is there to blame? The school and the college. The education system is terrible. They didn't teach me the right things. They didn't make me into a go-getter. And then after that, what? I didn't get the right job as a result of all this. This job is terrible. I'm made for better things. And here I'm just a rubber stamp. I'm not operating a rubber stamp. I am the rubber stamp. And so what kind of a job is this? No job satisfaction. Then what do? Get married. And then what? Why do you get married? So that I'll have one more person to blame. Because all the other people have been exhausted, literally and figuratively. So that I have a new person to say, because of you I'm not getting ahead. Now you see, this is transferred on to the spouse. And then after that what? Then after that, children. Yeah, these people, they don't let me go anywhere. If you have a child, then the next 25 years are gone. What kind of a life is this? Etc. Then when you exhaust all the friends, family, everybody you exhaust, then who is left to blame? Bhagavan. Bhagavan first in the form of planets. Shani is in the wrong place in my horoscope. Okay. And then I am poor because Shukra is Vakri. Vakri means retrograde. Okay. And then, so like this, even the poor planets who are just spinning in their orbits very innocently, they are also blamed. Totally they are blamed. And so therefore what? So therefore we have to have a modicum of objectivity here. And the objectivity is indeed the prasada of all these yajnas. This is the Amrita. Amrita means relatively. There is freedom from complaining all the time. There is freedom from complaining. There is an appreciative capacity. The person has a capacity to just smile at nothing in particular. You see the antics of a monkey and then you just smile. Because especially sometimes when they have bhandara, they will put up a tent in the summer months. It's not a tent for the bhandara, for the monkeys. It is monkey trampoline. Yes. You can see them. They go from this branch of that tree, jump and then climb to the other tree. It's just amazing feat. So you can laugh at them. You can smile at them. If you have this kind of an inner freedom, an inner space. Otherwise you say, see, we can't even put a tent here. They have to come and spoil it. Look at them, all of them. Yeah, waste of time. Yeah. And then they'll attack also. They're so aggressive. This is the second response, reaction is from the one for whom the disciplines are not important. Disciplines, when they are important, you can just be happy doing nothing. You can be happy with nothing. You can be happy just because somebody smiled at you, your whole day is happy. Just little. You become what was described earlier in the previous one of the verses as yadrichha labha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha. Samassiddhau asiddhau cha kritvapi na nibadhyate. So that is how you become. You don't, even before the gain of the knowledge, the prasada of the knowledge has already arrived. It's like you haven't even entered the competition, but you have won the first prize. Oh my God, how is this? But that's how it is. This is how these disciplines are extremely valuable. And that's why we cannot gloss over them. And the one who is disciplined in this life with the view to gaining moksha enjoys as though the moksha itself, the moksha prasada, as though, because the one is very, very happy. One is guruna api dukkhena na vichalyate. 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is going to tell us. Guruna doesn't mean, okay, Guru, third case, Guruna, by the Guru. No, here Guru, neuter Guru, okay, heavy. By even the heaviest of dukkha, challenges, difficulties, one is not shaken up. So in this person, full of the prasada of this discipline, it's not that misfortunes won't come. It's not that challenges won't come. Prarabdha, after all, is there. Challenges will come. But you become bigger than the challenges. It's like that story, Gulliver's Travels, children's story. So in the first, one day he wakes up and he finds himself in the land of giants. Oh my God, he's as big as a small ant. And then there is a shoe coming there. And even though he says shoo, shoo to the shoe, it doesn't go because nobody hears him. With great difficulty he has to outrun that shoe and hide somewhere. And the grasses are so tall, the grasses are the regular size, but he is in the land of giants. Scared, frightened, despondent, overpowered by everything. And in the next scenario, he is washed up on a beach. And he is in the land of small, small beings. Lilliputs. Lilliputan world. And then those Lilliputs look at this huge thing. What is this? Is it a whale? A beached whale? What has come here? They have never seen anything so big and they are all terrified. The only solace is that this fellow is unconscious. Thank God. And they say, let us tie him up, because if he wakes up, then all of us are what? Chutney. So we don't want to become chutney under his feet, and he looks really, we don't know what kind he is. He may be angry and he may just destroy all of us. So saying, they took one hair of his and then put a peg and then pegged it into the ground with small hammers, little hammers. And then this Gulliver came to, meaning stopped becoming unconscious, came to, and then what did he do? He said, what's that? Something is hurting. Turned around like this. And all of that, he was free on one side. Then he turned around on the other side, and they had spent hours, pegging him down. He was already free. And then what? All his problems were tiny, tiny problems. In fact, they were afraid of him. So in the beginning of the session, Vedanta, when we come to Vedanta, we are like Gulliver who is in the land of what? Giants. Oh my God, this one looks sad, that one looks mad, and this one is, very menacing looking. What to do? How to negotiate my day? How can I be? Puk, 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 puk. This is what it is. What if I do the wrong thing? And then after a few doses of Vedanta Shastra, well assimilated, and after a disciplined life, that's why we have this schedule. The schedule is important. So, because of this disciplined life, then what happens? All the problems that come are small. It's a little mosquito bite, little while it will scratch, it will burn, and then it's gone. It's gone. And this is how we grow. Even before the knowledge is internalized, the person is already enjoying the prasada of jnana. Jnana phalam is already enjoyed. Why? Because preparations is 9/10 of this teaching. And so, this is what is meant by Amrita Bhujaha. This is how they are enjoying the nectar in the form of the prasada of this Atma Samyama, of this discipline. So these disciplines are giving dividends. They are giving interest. And then, so this is the first line, is the person blessed by these disciplines. And what is the ultimate prasada for them? They are already enjoying the prasada of a cheerful antahkarana, uncomplaining antahkarana, accommodative antahkarana, appreciative antahkarana, non-judgmental antahkarana. They are already enjoying. But the cherry on top, what is that? They gain Brahman. In time, Adi Shankara will say, but they gain Brahman. Why? Because they have all the accoutrements to gain Brahman. This is how the Upanishad has so much confidence that if you have the preparation, then what? You will gain this knowledge. Confidently, the Chandogya Upanishad states, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. The one who has the teacher will know. How can you be so sure? They may be keeping the teacher in a, showcase, not studying from them. How will they know? They will still know. Because the teacher will make sure they know. And like this, there are statements. Yastu Matraman Pitraman Acharyavan. Then also Saha Eva Veda Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This was quoted last week. And so, like this, there are statements that with the proper discipline and the proper upbringing, one is as good as knowing. 9/10 of the work is preparation, and they will get Brahman in due course of time. Adi Shankara will specify. Now, what happens to the rest of them? Na ayam lokaha asti kutaha anyaha Kurusattama. Kurusattama means the best among the Kuru clan. Kuru was the name of the clan. That's how Kaurava came. So, Kuru, people belonging to this clan, Kauravas. But here, Kuru, the best among the Kuru clan, clearly you are Arjuna. And so, this is the Ninda. Ninda means it is a talking, putting down the people who are not committed to this kind of yajna. What happens to them? Na ayam lokaha asti. Even this loka, forget other lokas. Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Tapaha, all these Brahma loka, nice afterlife, forget all that. Forget moksha. Even this life is lost for them. They wake up complaining, they go to sleep complaining. Nothing is all right. And even if something is all right, it is all right for exactly how many minutes? 10 minutes. That's also a stretch. Maybe we should make that 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, the complaining cobra raises its head. Yeah, and then bites whoever is in the vicinity, strikes and bites. Because they blame. They blame others for their misfortune. Not understanding that they themselves are not prepared. They are not emotionally, spiritually, mentally prepared to see the very simple fact that we have been dropped into this jagat. Did I decide to come here? No. Did you decide to be born? No. Did you say I'll have this one for mother and that one for mother? Did you choose your mother, father? No. Did you say I want to be the first one? No. Did you say I want to be the last child? No. All this happened somehow. This all happened. You are not in charge. You were just dropped here. A crying baby which could not even turn around without help. This is what it is. Supposedly ready to lead an independent life. And nowadays, even for this baby, they go and make Aadhaar card. So 10 digits of numbers, supposedly. Poor thing cannot even roll over. This is what it is. And in America, in United States, Aadhaar card is called Social Security number. For the most insecure one, there is a Social Security number. Nonsense this is. And so, this child who is so helpless, just there adrift, and then as it grows up, In the beginning it thinks, oh, everything is mine, these toys are mine, mother is mine, father is mine. 2-year-old thinks. And then suddenly it has a sibling. Where is this crying thing come from? Mom, take it back to the hospital. Yeah, I don't want this here. I am the one who is loved. I am the one who should be loved. And what is this thing doing all the time? And I cry, you don't pay any attention. It cries, you go running to it. What is wrong with you? It slowly understands that I don't control all the shots. And that's a healthy understanding. It has to come sooner or later. This understanding that one does not control all the shots has to come. But for some people there is a kind of an obfuscation. That understanding does not come. And so that understanding is distorted so that they become powerful deflectors of responsibility, powerful deflectors of accountability. Instead of looking at their face in the mirror and saying, yes, there is a spot, maybe I fell into the mud, let me wipe. Instead they say, this mirror is not terrible. The mirror is full of spots. Such is the demeanor of the undisciplined one. But what does Vedanta say? You spot it, you got it. Yes. If anybody, this is a very important teaching, if anybody or anything annoys you, in the ashram or outside the ashram, if you find anybody or anything annoying, that means there is a little bit of that person in you. That same tendency is there, it is recognizable, or you have been hurt by that tendency, so the hook for that is there. So you spot it, you got it. Those people don't know. And in the West, there is an expression, English expression called failure to launch. Have you heard of that expression? Yeah. Education has been given, but the person is drifting from job to job to job, no future, no present, nothing. And is able to manage something, but then just a drifter. No, drifters must be maybe mumukshu. Yeah, but maybe a very hidden mumukshu, doesn't really recognize this. Drifter, doesn't stay in any job for too long. Why? Boring, bored. What is there? Nothing is there. Indifferent. Indifferent, not in a good way. The Vedantin is also indifferent, but here indifferent in a very irresponsible way. Isme kya hai? Nothing is there. I'm made for better things. That's the feeling. I'm entitled to better things. I'm made for better things. And so therefore, this is the person who in modern parlance, the expression failure to launch. Launch means individuate. Individuate, I'm using it in the Jungian sense. Carl Jung used that word for the natural growth process from childhood to adulthood, where you separate yourself a little bit from the parents and the natal family. It's not that you don't love them and care about them, but you say, okay, this is mother, this is father, in this way I am similar to them, in this way I am separate from them, I am not like them. And then you understand that this is brother, this is sister. In some, we have certain things in common, but I have a different outlook towards this or that. This is called individuation, where you take responsibility for your life and your actions, but for some reason, without these disciplines, this individuation is very difficult to accomplish. I'm not saying impossible, but very, very difficult to accomplish. So this kind of a religious discipline, without it, what happens? There is failure to launch. The person cannot be responsible and accountable for their own life, let alone for anybody else. And they are just blaming the whole world for their mishaps in their own life. These are the person who are what? Described as, the person who is here is described as ayajnaha. So ayajnaha means what? For whom there is no yajna. Ayajnaha. Ayajnaha, the one who doesn't have yajna in the life. So, ayagnaha. Yajnaha yasya na asti. Ayajnaha, for whom there is no yajna, that is the person. What is that? Ayam lokaha nasti. They have wasted their life. This life is a big zero. Sometimes they sit, imagining grandiose things. I should be the CEO of a big company. What have you done to that effect? No, I'm not going to start at a low level. I'm meant for big things. Well, the CEO also started at some level and became the CEO by the dint of her hard work, his hard work. But here the person says, I have to be straight away taken in a plane and put on the top. I shouldn't have to work for anything. It should just come. And then people use horoscope also. My horoscope, all these planets are, Rahu is exalted. So that means I should be the world ruler, or at least a ruler of a country. Like this, they have all these ideas and the achievement is zero. What to talk of outer achievement, the inner achievement is zero. Therefore, the outer achievement is a bigger zero, because inside they don't have that ability. The ability to face disappointments, this is the prasada of this yajna. The ability to just be with whatever is. The ability to know that I don't call all the shots, I can't change anything. Therefore, if I am depending on others, I will be miserable. So I have to learn to have an elastic personality where I am able to be okay with what is. And then with the help of Vedanta, I understand what is Ishvara. Then the whole knowledge is complete. But the people who don't have this, ayam lokaha nasti. This loka is as good as destroyed. What to talk of other lokas? What to talk of the gain of Brahman? Ayajnasya kutaha anyaha he kuru sattama. And then the Bhashya will be there. We will see that tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Mevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.